And penetrating into saltwater rejection.
Why Watson? I told you he's on the floor for his defense.
Oh, and Peyton Watson a la Coach Karai.
Since Nikola Jokic went down with a knee injury 2 weeks ago, Peyton Watson has stepped up big time.
Watson, the defender flies by. Watson makes him pay.
He's averaging 23.7 points, 6.9 rebounds, a block, a steal, all while shooting 46% from deep. Before this stretch, Watson had scored 20 or more points just 6 times across his previous 3 seasons. He's done it 6 times in the last 7 games. With Jokic out, Watson has taken control. And what we're watching right now is the delayed payoff of a 4-year development project. An out-of-shape freshman at UCLA who couldn't crack the rotation has suddenly morphed into an offensive engine, cooking NBA defenses for fun. But while Watson's explosion is saving the Nuggets season right now, it might be the very thing that changes everything for Denver moving forward. Let's talk about it. To understand how Peyton Watson went from a project pick to one of Denver's most important players the moment Jokic went down, you have to go back to the start. Coming out of Long Beach Poly, Watson was a consensus 5-star recruit, a top 10 player nationally with elite length, a smooth scoring reputation, and USA Basketball Gold already on his resume. The expectation was simple: 1 year at UCLA, then straight to the league. But when he got to Westwood, reality hit differently. Watson arrived raw and out of shape after a pandemic-disrupted senior season and walked into UCLA roster that returned all 5 starters from a Final Four team. He barely cracked the rotation, averaged just 3.3 points in 12 minutes a night, and watched his draft stock drop in real time. Still, the flashes were there. A 6'8" wing with elite tools who had been buried behind experience, not exposed by a lack of talent. Watson bet on the evaluation, declaring for the 2022 draft after just 1 season. On draft night, the gamble went to the wire. Watson was taken with the final pick of the first round by Oklahoma City, then immediately traded to Denver. Statistically, it made no sense. He averaged the fewest points per game of any player ever selected in the top 30. But Denver's front office had no hesitation. General manager Calvin Booth called it an easy pick, even admitting he wanted to trade up to get him. And slowly, Watson began to justify that gumption. He barely played in his rookie season, registering just 186 total minutes in 22-23. But with Denver's playoff seeding essentially locked, the final stretch became a testing ground. In that brief window, he flashed exactly what the Nuggets believed in: weak side shot blocking, relentless floor running, and instinctive cutting that punished defensive lapses. That small sample carried over. When 23-24 opened, Watson was in the rotation from day one. His defense translated immediately, but his shooting was inconsistent. Still, there were enough signs to justify patience. By 24-25, Watson emerged as one of the NBA's premier rim-protecting wings, finishing 16th in the league in total blocks with 93, trailing only Isaiah Stewart among players 6'10" or shorter. He also had 17 blocks on 3-point attempts, the most in the NBA. On offense, he shot a career-best 44.7% on corner threes, averaging 8.1 points across 68 games and cementing himself as a legitimate 3-and-D contributor. That growth changed how Denver used him.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the run. The shot was blocked by Peyton Watson, and the Nuggets have won it. Wow!
Watson earned the coaching staff's trust. His minutes jumped by nearly 33%, and among Nuggets reserves, only Russell Westbrook logged more playing time. Going into 25-26, the Nuggets expected Watson to continue his steady climb, and he did. Coming off the bench, he was averaging 6.4 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 1.5 assists across the first 10 games. But the real opportunity arrived on November 12, when Christian Braun went down with an ankle sprain. Watson stepped into the starting lineup on November 15, and he never gave it back. Since taking over as a starter, Watson's numbers have shot up. He's averaging 16.2 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 1.9 assists, while shooting 51.5% from the field and an incredible 44% from 3. For the season overall, he's at 13.2 points, 5 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field and 41% from 3. all while defending multiple positions and showing the versatility of a true two-way forward. But here's where it gets wild, because Christian Braun going down was only the first domino. With Braun out, Watson finally got a chance to prove he could handle real responsibility, and he absolutely delivered. Then the unthinkable happened. The Nuggets lost their heart and brain, Nikola Jokic, to a hyperextended left knee that would keep him out for a month. Suddenly, the onus of keeping Denver competitive fell entirely on the role players, and the pressure could have crushed others. What Watson has done since Jokic went down is a level of production, focus, and two-way impact that's completely changed how the Nuggets operate. He's become one of the team's most critical players in the process. When Jokic went down, everyone expected Jamal Murray to carry the team, and he did his part. But the biggest riser since the injury has been Peyton Watson. In the 7 games since Jokic went out, Watson has been averaging 23.7 points, almost 7 rebounds and 3 assists, while shooting 48.8% from the field and 46.2% from 3. He scored 20 or more points in 6 straight games before cooling off slightly against Milwaukee, quietly establishing himself as a reliable second option behind Murray and even a number 1 option when Murray has been out. It started in his very first game without Jokic against the Raptors. Watson finished with 24 points and 8 rebounds, leading Denver in scoring with 14 of his 24 coming in the second quarter, keeping the Nuggets ahead in a 106-103 win. He carried that momentum forward, scoring 21 against the Cavaliers and 23 against the Nets, showing consistency even in losses. Then came a defining moment against the 76ers, where Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Tim Hardaway, and Christian Braun all sat out. Watson delivered, finishing with 24 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal, leading Denver to a 125-124 overtime win. And he kept rolling, facing a red-hot Celtics team that had won 8 of their last 9 games. Watson finished with 30 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal in 37 minutes. He made 6 of 7 3-pointers, including a dagger that put Denver up 106-93 with 2 minutes 24 left to play. 2 nights later against Atlanta, Watson grabbed 11 rebounds to go with 25 points, 4 assists, and 3 steals. Then against Milwaukee, he dished out a career-high 6 assists alongside 19 points and 8 rebounds, showing he can facilitate when defenses key on him. The Nuggets were expected to struggle without Jokic and other key players missing games, yet Watson has carried them to a respectable 4-3 record in those 7 games. He's proving he can be the guy when it matters, and that completely changes how Denver views him. And that's the problem for the Nuggets. Watson is on the rise, and he's about to become a very expensive player. The kind of player every team wants, but not every team can afford. Now Denver has to figure out how to keep a rising star who's already showing he can carry the team. The Denver Nuggets may be facing a tough decision with Peyton Watson, and the rest of the league is watching closely. Watson and Christian Braun were both set to hit restricted free agency without extensions in place. Braun locked in a massive 5-year, $125 million deal. Watson started the season without one. According to Bennett Durando of the Denver Post, extension talks between Watson and the Nuggets never reached an agreement, setting the stage for a potentially costly offseason. Watson will be a restricted free agent, free to receive offers from other teams, while Denver has the right to match. But the question is whether they can afford to. The problem is Watson is having a career year. When Braun and Aaron Gordon were sidelined, he saw a massive increase in responsibility on both ends. He's become a nightly starter, taking on tough defensive assignments while carrying a growing share of Denver's offensive load. With the way he's playing, Watson has become exactly the kind of player that makes teams panic about losing. While teams with cap space start circling, at just 23 years old, producing at this level on one of the West's best teams, Watson is about to become hot commodity. Watson is earning $4.3 million this season, one of the best value contracts on the Nuggets roster. He's eligible for a qualifying offer of $6.5 million, but that doesn't come close to his true market value. As a restricted free agent next summer, Watson could easily be looking at a deal similar to the one Braun signed during the offseason. The Nuggets are already projected to be over the first apron, with recent extensions for Gordon and Braun tightening the books even more. Matching a strong outside offer would push Denver further into restricted territory, limiting flexibility across the roster. Even if they want to keep him, The numbers suggest they simply cannot compete with outside offers without making some other changes to the roster. Now there's a good chance Valanciunas won't be in Denver next season, but they will need to replace him. Maybe the Nuggets will prioritize Watson and trade away Johnson to make cap space. For Denver, this situation is frustrating but familiar. They drafted Watson, developed him into a reliable rotation player, and now find themselves at risk of watching him price himself out of town. As a fan, you want to see Watson stick around, especially after how he stepped up during an injury-ridden stretch. But the logistics of keeping him make a new contract extremely tricky. When the summer arrives, the Nuggets may have no choice but to let their two-way wing find a new home elsewhere. But until that time comes, Watson will continue to be a major piece of Denver's competitive hopes and a nightly force on both ends of the floor. Here's the thing that makes Watson special and why I think he's going to be a star regardless of where he ends up. He plays fast, processes quickly, and brings length, effort, and discipline every single night. Watson is moving into his prime as a defensive weapon, built on instincts and versatility rather than flash. He can guard multiple positions, take the toughest assignment without hesitation, and stay locked in possession after possession. That's the kind of defender teams trust in playoff basketball. He's proven he can start for the Nuggets, but his real value is how many roles he can fill. Watson can credibly defend positions 1 through 4, switch across lineups, protect the rim from the weak side, and still hold his own against bigger wings. That fearlessness to guard elite players has always been there, but what changed everything was the work behind the scenes. Adding strength and muscle over the summer gave him the ability to absorb contact and battle physically with stars who welcomed that challenge. Now, he's winning those matchups. And once his defense established him on the floor, the offense followed him naturally. Denver didn't ask him to become a high-usage scorer, they asked him to play within the flow, and that's where Watson thrives. He cuts hard, runs lanes in transition, and spaces the floor without disappearing next to ball-dominant stars. A jump in three-point shooting pushed him from dunker spot duties to the corners, and that confidence unlocked the rest of his game. Watson now attacks closeouts with purpose, using a quick Euro step, going up and under, or gathering low to finish through traffic. He's fearless, going straight at big men, and his speed turns small advantages into points. He's also added a reliable short pull-up and soft floater, taking those shots only when the moment calls for it. That selectiveness has turned him into an efficient scorer, not just an opportunistic one. Watson isn't a system player, and he's not a product of playing next to great teammates. He's becoming a legitimate two-way wing, one who defends at a high level, shoots well enough to stay on the floor, and can scale his offense up or down depending on what the game demands. That's the most valuable archetype in today's NBA. And at just 23 years old, he's still got room to grow. Peyton Watson went from an afterthought to an ascending star in just 4 years. He's proven he can help carry a team without Jokic, and he's proven he can thrive right next to him. The only thing left unanswered is where he'll be doing it next season. So let me know, do you think Watson stays in Denver, or do you see him ending up somewhere else? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, make sure to like the video, hype it up, subscribe to the channel, and check out one of these videos on your screen now.